Welcome back to the Bearded Hermit. This week has been very busy around here, but progress was made on the A-frame subfloor. I put plywood down on the subfloor with a dead battery. I add blocking to help keep the joist from twisting. And all the deck boards get installed. It has been unusually warm for mid-October in the UP of Michigan so far. It makes me think winter will never come. But the snow will be here soon enough, and I need to get moving to get the roof up. I found this handy little tool for moving sheets of plywood around. It grabs the bottom of the sheet and gives you more leverage and a longer reach. It makes it much easier to move everything around by yourself. I just start laying out the sheets and screwing them down with deck screws. I will be staggering each row to give the floor a little more strength. And after the A-frame is built, this floor will get 3/4 thick pine tongue and groove flooring, so this will also add some strength. For now, I'm only screwing down the edges of the plywood. I will be coming back later to add the rest of the screws. For this second row of plywood, I cut a sheet in half to start the staggered rows. The way I have the posts coming up through the top of the joist, this is a very good place to screw the two joists to the post to keep them from twisting. But the two joists between the posts have nothing. So they are getting blocks for stability, and then the plywood goes down. The next space here is just about dead center of the house, and is where I plan on putting a wood stove and a brick wall. I'm adding more blocks here to strengthen the floor as much as possible to help support all the extra weight. And it is still hunting season. So many ATVs are driving past. It's so busy around here, it reminds me of the city. But soon enough, they'll be gone, and things will be much more peaceful. I'm just going along, adding blocks ahead of each sheet of plywood that's going down, enjoying one of the last warm days of the fall. Some of the floor joists are not lining up with the 4x8 sheets of plywood. When putting in the posts, some of them got a little off of the 4-foot mark. So I'm adding a little bracing to support the ends of these sheets. For this last row, I need to cut about a 1/2 inch off to make it fit. The first sheet was a little tight, but after a little encouragement, it went into place. This last sheet I cut short to line up with the access in the floor to the crawl space. Next, I move on to lay the deck boards. These are 5/4 thick, 6 inches wide, and 8 feet long. This deck will end up being 8 feet wide and 20 feet long, covered by the roof. It should make a very nice space to relax out of the sun and weather, but still being outside. I'm using a deck screw to make a space between each board I put down. These boards are still very wet and will shrink some, but I don't want the deck boards too close together. I've screwed a board to the joist where the deck boards start. This will make a nice straight line to match up the plywood to. And here again, I'm using just a few screws, and later I will come back to put the rest of the deck screws in place. And I can't forget to put some more blocks here on the deck. These joists need this support just like the others. At this point, my legs feel like spaghetti. A good part of 3 days of this kind of work, squatting down, kneeling, bending over, lifting the plywood, has really taken a toll on my body. I am so happy this part of the build is nearly over. These deck boards look pretty good, but sometimes they have a bad looking knot in them, so I just flip them over to hide it. And so it looks like I'm one deck board short. When I did the math, I assumed each board was 6 inches wide, and in reality, they're 5.5 inches wide. Even with the small spacing I'm adding, it still ended up one board short. And I'm finishing up here tonight. It's a nice, beautiful evening. 70 degrees out, and as you can see, finished up sheeting the subfloor. This is the view from the east, from the north, from the south. This is coming out to the deck, and this will be my view off the deck, looking out over the creek. I'm one board short, so I'm going to have to pick up one more deck board to finish this up, and I'm going to have to cut
a couple strips of plywood here to finish off this little bit here. But this subfloor is about 95% done.
Thanks for watching. This is the end of the video. Please stay safe out there, and remember, life can be good sometimes.